say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, again, we'd like to welcome everybody out to the Market Goat Show tonight. Our judge tonight is Tani De Jong. Did I pronounce that right? Is it De Jong? De Jong, that was my mistake. Tani De Jong grew up on a beef cattle ranch in western South Dakota where her family primarily raised Maine Anjou genetics. She studied animal science at South Dakota State University, where she was a member of the livestock judging team while there. Following college, she worked as a year as a graphic designer and sale barn consultant for an ag newspaper and a couple years as a recruiter at a community college while in Wyoming as well. She then returned to school for a master's in animal science at Michigan State University, where she served as the assistant and then the head coach of the livestock judging team. Following her grad degree, Tani served as the head livestock judging coach and animal science instructor at the University of Missouri and as the 4-H livestock superintendent for the Missouri State Fair. In January of this year, Tani took the position as the executive youth director for the American Geltve Association for their youth programs. We're so excited to have Tani judge here today. She's going to be judging all of our species. She's certainly qualified. Prior to coming here, she's been on the road quite a bit, judging some major shows around the country, and just finished up at the Missouri State Fair judging, I believe, hog showmanship, was it? So let's put our hands together for Tani. She's going to be awesome today. Let's give her our support.
All right, to start us off with Class 1, entering the ring, I have Natalie Morris, Avery Pelch, Cash Baldwin, Skylee Douglas, Oakley Lyon, Reese Hatch, Ira Hatch, Briley Howe, Ike Howe, Kylie Ritter, Boston Harding, Crimson Reese, and Kaysen Reese. If Class 2 wants to start lining up in the show barn, it's going to be Hallie John, McCall Mackey, Courtney Reinhart, Emery Hobbs, Oakley Davies, Posey Jones, Emmy Howe, Phoenix Harris, Chloe Cook, and Amy Ritter.
All right. Well, I'm really glad to be out here in Utah with you all, sorting your market goat show and a lot of your other shows this week. A really exciting place to start off, I think, with your lightest weight goat class. I think, in my opinion, I think that there's a lot of good, and all the kids are doing a really nice job with their projects. They've obviously spent a lot of time getting them to this point out here today. So I'll kind of just walk you through a couple of things that I'm searching for when I'm evaluating market livestock, regardless of any species. And I kind of focus on these two main things. And one is this idea of product, so having enough muscle shape, and then having a good combination of fat cover with that. So in market livestock, in our market goats in particular, we wanted to be fairly lean, fresh, youthful, really kind of peel back in terms of their finish and condition out here today, so that they still touch really hard. They still are really, really shapely when you go in and evaluate them from the outside and go in and touch them. Really, really expressive up top. So I love this idea of product in market animals. And number two, I'm looking for a really good balance type of livestock. So balance for me encompasses everything from your proportionality to their eye appeal to their skeletal design in combination with a good amount of volume. So those two things are really what I'm searching for. And in my opinion, as we start off your market goat show today, the easy thing to do is to start off with this young gentleman in front here. That is just the best balanced one that is big in terms of her back shape. There's a lot of genuine product up there. A young man's doing a nice job with skin and hair presentation, spent a lot of time working with that, but just really a high quality individual to go ahead and start off today. Is this, maybe the biggest, most powerful goat we're going to see in the whole show? No, probably not, but that makes sense. We're in the lightweights today, right? But young man's done a nice job. I think he deserves to be at the top for any reason. So now, I think the kind of the give and take for me, kind of moving on, is between second and third, because I think that between the two of them, there's a lot of differences in terms of the type of animal that they are. Young ladies, whether out here in second, is super, super big in terms of his muscle shape up top. I like how big and bold he is in his rib cage. He feeds a lot of genuine shape out of a wide chest, big old stout pin set in that dude. When you get him stopped and stuck, and then when you're pulling him around, he kind of comes in a couple more pieces for me. He gets a little bit broken right behind that shoulder. I'd like to see him set out a little taller there, taller at the top of his shoulder for how tall he is in his hip from behind. And then that's just kind of the balance from the side is the big thing that kind of sorts him into second for me today. But I still think that there's enough value, enough quality in that one to roll into second. Now the young gentleman's whether in third is probably the better looking between 2 and 3 here today. I think that one is super sleek neck, long-sided, definitely sits up a little bit squarer behind his shoulder. One that I think is a little longer-sided and still has a plenty of foot and bone to match with being a little bit longer there. I think when you get in and you actually study, kind of the difference in call muscle awash between the two, say they're pretty comparable there. For me, this one just doesn't come with as much oomph, right? A little bit flatter in his forerib, a little bit shallower back to his rear rib and flank. And then when you get in and study behind the two goats, this guy is just the one that's a little lighter in his lower leg shape. So we'll leave him in third. Nice job to that young man. Young lady in fourth and fifth, both these young women have just meat-packed animals, right? They're big-footed, they're big-boned, there's a lot of feature in both these dudes out here, a lot of genuine muscle shape up top. I think whenever we kind of get in and sort them compared to the 3 ahead of them, it's just that look of freshness, youthfulness, and quality kind of difference that kind of sorts them down into 4 and 5. I like the young lady in the 4/8 shirts one to go next, because there's just more of that goat. He's wider chested, he's bigger backed, he's stouter pinned, and kind of the fifth place one kind of fits our 1 and 4th, so that's kind of where I wind up with things today. Congratulations to both these young ladies as well. All our exhibitors on the fence over here are doing an awesome job as well. It just kind of comes into having animals that are stout enough thin, big enough legged, and come together in a skeletally attractive package from the side. So please give all these exhibitors a nice hand. They've done a fabulous job.
Coming back from Class 1 is Cash Baldwin and Briley Howe. With Class 3, we'll start lining up in the show barn. Ella Thompson, Eli Thompson, Madison Grover, Madden Pendlebury, Peyton Butler, Kason Healy, Easton Nilsson, Bryant Larson, Jancy Norris, Meadow Thornley, and Hiram Worthen.
All right, as we get your second class of market goats out here today, I think that for me it makes sense to rise these two ladies up to the top of the class pretty handily. These are the ones that represent just heavy-muscled, stout-made, big feature type of livestock that have some sense of quality when you study them from the side, especially in comparison to the rest of our lineup out here today. So congrats to these young ladies for doing that. I think it becomes maybe a challenging pair for me because I don't know if either one of them quite hits me just right in terms of skeletal structure, because I think both of them get a little bit steep hip, a little bit wound up in how that hip and hind leg actually reaches out and goes for me today. So if we kind of call structure a little bit of a wash, particularly on the move with these two goats, I think that it really comes down to the young lady up in front. Just there's more of that goat. When you actually get in and study chest width between these two, this wether up front is just wider chested, infinitely bolder and rounder in terms of his rib cage shape. He stays a bit more collected further back into his skeleton and represents a type of livestock that's shallower and deeper back, taller shouldered and deeper back. So the profile kind of lines up a little bit more sensibly in my mind between the pair of them out here today. Now, I do think that dude needs quite a bit more when you study him in his actual hip shape and pin set. He gets a little bit peaked, a little bit more goatee out to the back of his hip there. You'd like to just stouten him up from that perspective, but I think for me overall, just puts the most things together right. So we'll start off with this young lady out here today. Young lady here in second with the cape-shouldered doe coming next has done a nice job at picking one that is just really burly, big, stout-featured. That is the heaviest bone one in this set out here today, and that one is quite a bit stouter and more expressive in terms of his muscle shape when you study him in his hip and his lower leg shape. That guy from the side, though, he gets pretty deep in his chest, pretty shallow back to his rear rib and flank, and that in combination with being flatter and longer about his rib shape rather than bolder and rounder just make him look a bit off proportionally from me today. So we'll leave him in second. Nice job to her, though. And now the young lady in third, fourth, and fifth have just brought us beaten potatoes type of goats, right? There's just a lot of goat there, a lot of practicality, a lot of rib shape. They look like they feed really well. I think when you actually get in and you study kind of the differences between these three, this young lady's goat up front is just the heaviest muscle one. There's the most muscle mass of that trio, a lot of big hip shape in that one. And when we get in and we study these three in comparison to the two up top, they are quite a bit frailer and maybe a little plainer in their makeup from the side, and that becomes evident the more we line those five up together. But I think there's still a lot of utility and practicality and just good meat animal shape to leave this one third. So nice job to her. The young lady in fourth has done an excellent job at selecting one that I think looks really easy feeding. I like the softness of center of that one. I like that there's some muscle shape up top and you get in, and there's a lot of spread when you actually touch in on that one's rack. That one gets a little plainer, deeper chested, a little bit more kind of clunky in how he's put together. You'd like to just clean that one up and give that one a bit more quality look from the side. Same thing with the one in fifth. I think that between the pair there is the taller shoulder one that's a little longer sided. That in combination with being pretty square from knee to ground and hock to ground is really kind of a good profile on that one. I just wish that one was stouter made, a little bit more muscle shape and expression up top, particularly down in through that lower leg and that forearm as well. The young people on the fence over here are also doing a really nice job with their projects. Love to see just a shot more stoutness, just a shot more roundness of rib to kind of represent a bolder, easier feeding type of livestock. Please give all those young people a nice hand. They're doing a great job.
Coming back from Class 2 in first place.
Whether you are purchasing a car, buying a home, managing an investment property, starting a small business, or leaving behind a legacy, American Family Insurance will help you protect your dream. Bear River Animal Hospital takes care of small and large animals, providing pediatric care all the way up to senior pets. They deliver high-quality, customized vet services with their dedicated team. Services include exams, vaccinations, surgeries, dentistry, fully equipped laboratory and pharmacy, along with x-ray and ultrasound. Many of these same services can be conveniently provided on the farm. Bear River Animal Hospital is filled with highly trained animal lovers who will provide the best care for the animals in your life.
If Class 4 wants to start lining up in the show barn, we'll have Valerie Skidmore, Nash Leckington, Blakely Munns, J.C. Thompson, Anna Hales, Zach Jensen, Austin Richens, Talia Arnold, Brooks Harding, and Kadri Reese. And just a clarification on the carcass contest, please do not go participate until after you have participated in the market show.
All right, as we get our next class of market goats lined out over here, go ahead and just pop them on the profile and face the audience here, guys. There we go. Awesome job. I think a pretty consistent top 5 for me, because I think honestly even on down into 6 and 7 represent just good heavy muscled, good enough built livestock that I think have all the fundamentals of just market animals in my mind. Again, though, I think that it's pretty handy to find our class winner yet again. This young gentleman's doe just kind of rises to the top of the bunch in terms of quality out here today. That is the heaviest muscled, widest constructed, widest chested, widest pinned one that just has by far the most shape down into her lower leg and stifle. One that I think is just ultra impressive from the outside looking in. You look over the top of that one, that's a big old bull brack, big old square long loin in that one. And when you get in and touch her, I think she is equally as impressive from there. So really, really nice job to the young man. Is this probably the biggest, stoutest one we'll see all day? Probably not. I think she's a little bit little, fits our young man up front here, but I think he's done a really nice job with picking just a really quality doe to go ahead and lead off our class today. Congratulations to him. Our young lady here in second has done a nice job at bringing us just good balanced livestock. I love how this one proportions from the side. Definitely taller shouldered and just kind of represents a just really good growing, heavy muscle type of stock. I think when you get in and you just compare this one to maybe our class winner and then further on down the road, I think there's enough muscle in this one. I think that this one comes off in just terms of look from the side. A little shorter, thicker necked, a little looser hided, a little longer, deeper, and in terms of his blade length, in terms of her blade length here today. That in combination with maybe being a little bit shallower back to her rear abdomen and lighter in terms of her leg muscle just throws her proportion off ever so slightly for me today in terms of look and presence out here today. But that is just a really good one that checks all the boxes in terms of muscle balance and then just overall rib shape for me today. Nice place to move into second. The young gentleman here in third has definitely done an awesome job with presentation. You spent a lot of time working skin and hair on that one, and it's evident, so really nice job with that. Really fresh, useful looking one that I think has enough muscle shape to be able to contend out here in our top 5. I think when you actually get in and study maybe that one proportionally, that's where I find a few more holes. That's one of the smaller footed, frailer bone ones that gets a little bit plainer in terms of how that shoulder sets into her, and then she just doesn't have quite the overall presence that maybe our class winner or some of the other goats that we've evaluated out here does today. But I think a nice place to go into third. Now our pair here in fourth and fifth I think are pretty similar in terms of the fundamentals. They're both kind of taller shouldered ones that really have a lot of length of side, a lot of actual roundness and deepness and boldness in terms of the center portion of that rib. Really practical there. I think that unfortunately sometimes when we get them big and soft in their rib like that, we kind of leave their neck and their hair a little bit longer like that. It can tend to make them look a little bit plainer from the side, and that's kind of what we've done with these out here today. And then when you get in and actually touch on both these, there's a lot of muscle mass, maybe not as much freshness and hardness to the touch as our other 3 that we discussed out here already. Young gentleman's just balances up better than the young ladies, so that's why we stick him 4 instead of 5. Congratulations to those young people. These young people on the fence are doing equally as good a job out here today. We're getting into the goats that all have enough muscle as we move further on into our weight divisions out here today. Would love to see just a shot more stoutness, a shot more shape, and a shot more boldness of rib in our lineup out here today. Please give all our young people a nice hand. They're doing a great job.
Big J Milling has high-quality wheat flours for the baking industry. They specialize in providing top-grade flour for commercial bakeries, bakery and restaurant distributors, as well as home bakers.
Boz Towing and Diesel Roadside. From our full-service shop, fast ETA road service, fleet service, or heavy-duty towing, we have you covered. Located in Corinne and Evanston.
Those coming back for the lightweight division drive, if they'll come line up in the show barn: Cash Baldwin, Briley Howe, McCall Mackey, Emmy Howe, Eli Thompson, and Meadow Thornley. If we can get Meadow Thornley back in the show barn to come back for the lightweight division drive. Meadow Thornley to the show barn.
All right, as we get first and second pulled back out here for your last lightweight class up in our lineup, I think that for me, probably one of the more challenging pairs to sort through so far in your Market Goat Show, because I think that both of them kind of match those fundamentals in terms of type and kind. Both of them are big, stout-footed, big bone, big featured, wide-eyed dudes that I think just really represent heavy muscle, good feed, and good shapely type of market animals. I think when it comes down to it, though, there's some kind of subtle differences between the two, and even though I think that maybe the one in second touches a little bit fresher about his rack, and I really do appreciate that. I think that we just find more quality in the one that goes ahead and starts the class. That one just patterns up better from the side, stays more collected in motion. One that I think is shallower about his chest floor, one that I think just pairs back into a really good looking profile from the side. That one is ultra shapely in terms of her leg shape from the outside. She's got enough muscle, she's got enough actual handle quality. Beyond that, her hide's a little tighter for me today, and that is adding to her fresher, more youthful, more quality look from the side. You appreciate those things about her. I do wish that that one was just a touch more expressive up in, particularly up in that front portion of her rack, right out of the back side of her shoulder, and that is where the Weather in second does have the advantage. I just think the more complete option is the young lady's doe to start. Congratulations to her. Now, like we talked, don't lose your earring there. Yeah. Now, like we talked, the young lady's Weather in second is one that is just a powerhouse, meat wagon type of dude out here today. I love the shape of that one's forearm. I love how fresh that one is when you get in and get your hands particularly up over his rack. I just wish that from the side, his look matched how fresh he touches. He does look a little bit older, a little more mature. He's a little looser and staler in terms of his hide type. When you get in and study him off from the side, he is a little bit deeper and plainer in his chest comparatively. That in combination with being a little bit flatter about a rib shape, maybe having a little more hair up under his belly, is maybe just making him look a little bit older than I think our one that wins the class out here today. Nice place to go into second, good quality stock as well. Now, our one in third here is the other one that is huge, big backed. There's a lot of muscle on that dude. Big old huge rack shape, big old square long loin in that one. I think that there's a lot of genuine meat animal shape in that one. I like that that one pieces together in a big, bold, wide chested, wide pin kind of way. On the profile, right, is where we kind of get really nitpicky on that one. That one is the lower fronted one that is, fighting down on you a little bit. But when you kind of get off and actually let that one relax, then he still is the one that breaks behind the shoulder. You'd like to see that one a lot more collected in terms of her top line. You'd like to see her a little taller shouldered, a little shallower in her chest floor to be able to pattern up better like the two that do ahead of you. Nice job to the young lady. Now, if we're going to talk about pattern, the young man's Weather in fourth does pattern up better than that one one and third. I think that's the taller shouldered, stronger backed, level top one that is a little bit longer bodied and probably a little bigger outline. When you get in, I wish that one's muscle mass actually had more shape though, because he gets a little bit chunky, right? A little bit chubby. All right, we'd like to peel him back from there, like to give him a bit more bone, a little bit more foot size up under him, because I think that'd make him just proportion a little bit better. Young lady in fifth here is doing a nice job with a really tall shouldered, long-sided one that's got enough muscle shape when you get in and get your hands on these ones. Unfortunately, from the side, that guy's kind of a bigger, longer, stretchier one, and it is really tough to make those big outline, stretchy ones look as powerful as some of these smaller ones, and I think that is definitely the case here. I'd like to also strengthen that one in his top line, make him a bit more collected there. The rest of our young people down here are doing a nice job with products that I think still have enough amount of muscle out here today. I'd like to just give them a shot more genuine width and dimension, bolden them up in the rib shape, and give them a lot more pin set to compare with these 5 that we've got up top. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They've done a nice job with their projects.
Coming back from class 4, first place Anna Hales, second JC Thompson.
Central Milling is personally invested in the quality of their products and their relationships with customers and suppliers. They are also a proud supporter of high school sports.
This is your lightweight division drive.
All right, as we rock on through your lightweight division drive and your market goat show here today, I think, honestly, I'm pretty pleased with the 4 that we've got out front here in the lineup. And I think, especially with these lightweights, and you never know what type of animal you're going to get, because there's just so much variance in terms of the type that would be at those lighter weights. But I think that we got a really, really consistent group of livestock out front here that are really just good in terms of quality. They're balanced from the side, maybe a little stretchier than maybe I particularly usually type of go for, but I think that all 4 of them proportion well. In spite of that, I think that all of them are good-footed, good bone, sound enough structured livestock that I think just represent a really shapely, good quality animal from the side. I think that when it comes out down to it, in this set of 8 out here today, I think that there's one that I've been thinking about that I think I further on into the show thought, well, I haven't seen one that beats that one out here yet today. Just a really, really complete type of livestock in my mind that is just ultra high quality. So we'll go ahead and get you a top 8. We'll place them all the way through. So audience, if you would please, as we get started with that, give all 8 of these exhibitors a good hand. They've done a great job.
Use Elison Trucking for all your trucking needs. They are big enough to serve, small enough to care. Elison Trucking in Tremonton is a proud supporter of the Box Elder County Fair.
We have Wyatt Brown, Gus Munns, Hadley Udy, Riley Topham, Claire Elison, Tegan Butler, Quincy Rhodes, Ellie Scott, Drew King, Jackson Norris, Chloe Kapner, and Riley Rhodes. Just a reminder, after you participate in the Market Goat Show, the carcass contest is going on in the old auction barn. If we can get Class 6 to start lining up in the show barn. Brett Anderson, Sarah Tree, Madison Brager, Lily Lillibridge, Leo Healy, Hudson Lyon, Trevor Lutz, Autumn Thornley, Capri Kapner, and Connor Arnold.
All right, so I think a really good quality class, fairly deep. I think that all the exhibitors on the fence should be proud of their projects, as well as the 5 that we've got out center stage here. Really just good quality stock to evaluate. I think when it comes down to it, though, again, another class winner that just has it handled. I think in my mind that is one that just does the most things right. That one is super big backed, giant, fresh, big old rack shape in that one. Super shapely and just really dimensional when you study that one. In his chest, he's wide, he's bold, he's round ribbed, he feeds a lot of genuine shape, not only rib shape but muscle shape out of the backside of his blade. Big stout old hip in that dude. When you get in and touch that guy, that is just ultra impressive. Honestly, you get your hands on all the goats and you touch that one and it's game over, and you're just so thankful that whenever you get him out and get him moving, that guy's still sound, because that can sometimes happen. So really nice place to start in my mind. I think he's being kind of a pill and fighting her just a little bit. I'd love it if we could get him to get his head and neck kind of set into him just a little bit more comfortably and get him lined up, and so he's not cattywampus like that when we come back for drive. But I think, yeah, nice job, young lady. That's a good quality goat to start a good class. Now, I think in my mind, I think there's more of a challenge between second and third here, because obviously the one in second is just ultra good quality. That dude is massive footed, huge bone, big featured, burly type of show goat that when this young lady gets that one propped up, I think that your question why you would look anywhere else, because I think that she does a heck of a job at getting him pieced together. Big old huge shapely back in that one. I love the genuine bold leg shape that he's got when you study the livestock from behind. When you pull these things to lead, that's where I think that guy has to go second. He gets pretty wound up in his skeleton, ducks that pin up under himself, gets pretty tight and high, and how that loin sets out into him. That in combination with breaking a little bit behind his shoulder there really just kind of makes him the off quality one in terms of motion out here for me today. Now, I think if you call the two of them comparable in terms of genuine muscle mass and shape, and I think that you can do that between 2 and 3, the one in 3 just doesn't look as high quality from the side. That guy's a little plainer and deeper in how his neck sits into his chest. He's got his neck attached a little bit further forward and down on that shoulder. When you get in and study the goats from the side, that guy isn't as outwardly expressive in his muscle shape, particularly his forearm and back into his lower leg. But I think that there is a lot of genuine quality in that one. I wish that one presented a little fresher from the outside looking in, and it looks a little bit higher quality in terms of build from the side, because that is really good quality goat as well to roll into third. Now, I think 4 and 5 of the trio there, I think that 4 and 5 are actually better constructed and better proportioned than 2 and 3 are up here today, and I very much acknowledge that you guys have got some good build, good proportion, really collected goats when you pull those two out into motion. Unfortunately, there is just that big in terms of genuine width and muscle mass up high. When you get in and touch on those two, not that there isn't a lot of shape there, because I think that both of them have been fed extremely well. You've done a really nice job, both you young people, at getting them to stay fresh and shapely up top. I just wish there was more there. Wish they were both wider chested, rounder ribbed, had a lot more space to be able to lay down more muscle up top, because I think there's a lot of quality there. When you get in and compare the two, I think there's just more feature and bone in the young ladies' dough than the young gentlemen's here in 5th, but I think both these young people deserve to be out here in the top 5 and discuss those. Please give all those young people a nice hand. They've done an excellent job with their projects.
Let me be free.
There's a lot to know when it comes to buying insurance. That's why it's important to have an independent agent looking out for you and your family. Whatever you're looking to protect, Advanced Insurance Services can help. Let Sherry Pally help make sure you have the right coverage and are getting all the discounts you deserve. She can shop several carriers to find the company that is right for you. Call for a free insurance review today.
To start lining up in the show barn: Lydia Burrell, Cooper Branch, Madison Branch, Taya Burgess, Lily Burgess, Kinley Butler, Brooklyn Rhodes, Abigail Lutz, Brigham Rowley, Bentley Irie, Braxton Richens, and Mamie Jacobson.
We would like to thank some of our sponsors for our Market Goat Show. Matt and Melissa Branch, Amy and Rob Stokes, Schaefer Show Goats, Doug and Susie Lish, Joe and Janice Summers, Nikki Patterson, Cody Roach, Jeanette Skidmore, Intertape Polymer Group, Western Ag Credit, Claudia Harmon Properties / Dwell Realty Group, the USU Extension Agency, and Olson's Dip Strawberries, and Tartar Panels, as well as IFA. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. We couldn't do this show without you. Please, everyone, give them a round of applause.
All right, as we move on through your middleweight market goats, I think that for me there maybe just isn't as much a feature and bone and power in this class as a whole. So I think once you kind of set that wish list aside and evaluate just what's in front of you, I think that the two most quality goats, and in particularly the young gentleman's wether up front here, is just the bias quality. From the side, that one looks really, really fresh in terms of skin and hide. He's obviously spent a lot of time working on that at home. I appreciate it. It paid off out here today. that guy, that lends him to also continue his good look of being just really fresh and youthful in his appearance. That is one that touches really fresh and hard up top. He's really good in his skin and hair. He balances up nice from the side. Does he overwhelm you with power? No, but I don't know if any of the goats in this class overwhelm you in that way. I think that beyond that, this is one that just brings the most good things together right for me today. So for me, he's a logical class winner. Congratulations to that young man. Now, of the set of goats that we've got out here today, I think the young lady's black-headed doe is the one that just has the most muscle mass up top, and I do appreciate that about what she's brought us here today. There's a lot of genuine kind of meat and potatoes and shape up there. I like the rib shape on this one. She looks like she gained weight really easy for you. Looks like she was real easy to feed. I think that sometimes when they gain weight real fast like that, they can start to look a little bit plainer from the side, and I think that's our problem here. If we're going to change her, I'd like to make her stronger at the top side of her shoulder. I'd like to just give her a bit more muscle shape when you look at her from the side, but I think the young lady's brought the good fundamentals to us, so we'll go ahead and keep her in second. Nice job to her. Now, I think between 3 and 4 is where probably the decision for me lies in this top 5 out here today. I think that between the two of them, the two weathers out here today, I think that both of them are really practical in terms of their rib design. Both of them are wide enough and square enough on all 4 corners for the size of animal that they are. I think that both of them could stand to be a little bit better balanced from the side. Both of them break right behind their shoulders there. Both of them probably need a shot more muscle when you study them from behind, particularly in the boldness of their pin set and their leg shape from below. But when you get in and get your hands on these two, that's what separates the pair for me today. There's just more muscle shape and more freshness in the young gentleman's weather to be in the third than the one in fourth here. The young lady's doe rounding out the top 5. She's done a nice job at working on with one that is good balance from the side. I think that one is stronger right behind her shoulder than the two that beat her out here today. And I think that there's a good amount of balance and proportionality in that one. I just wish there was as much muscle as the 4 that we had in front. Like to see a bigger leg, a bigger back, and come with just more oomph right here today. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They've done a spectacular job with their projects out here today. If we got you ringside over here, I just wish that there was a shot more oomph in your livestock and a bit more boldness of rib shape to be able to facilitate more muscle up top. Please give all those young people a nice hand. They've done a good job.
With over 60 years of experience and personalized service, Guild Mortgage is your key to home ownership in Box Elder County and beyond. Friends and neighbors you know and trust. Trudy, Chris, Julie, Shannon, Rollin, Tara, Brittany, Andy, Chelsea. Stop by or give us a call today. Guild Mortgage, own what matters.
The grill has a wide variety of homemade appetizers. Can't decide what to get? Then build an appetizer combo. No matter what you're craving, the grill has something for everyone.
If Class 8 will start to line up in the show barn, Maddie Winward, Paley Thompson, Jasper Baldwin, Ashton Meyer, Harley Euler, Brooklyn Leak, Ryan Ire, Emmy Searle, Remy Kay, Bracken Bingham, and Sadie Peebley.
I think that as you get this next class of market goats out here, I think an interesting top trio in my mind, and honestly, maybe a little bit more challenging class, because I think that this class is certainly quite a bit deeper than the last one. There are some goats on this side over here that I think had a lot more to them than the ones we just evaluated. So really appreciate the efforts of these young people, and sometimes, that's the way the weight break falls. But I think that for me, the biggest challenge is kind of lining up this trio up top here, because I'll be the first to tell you that the one up top is not the freshest handling of this trio here today. And I think that, when you go in and touch on market animals, regardless of species, that's something that you're certainly searching for. But I think when I think and evaluate everything else beyond just actual touch quality and freshness, when you get in and touch on those, this weather up front just does everything else the best. So it's kind of our sum of odds out here today. And when I was coaching judging teams, I spent a lot of time telling them not to single trade animals one way positive or one way negative, and I think that is our story out here today. That from the side, that's just the highest quality one. On initial impression, when you pulled those things into the ring, I catch myself keep watching that one as she's circling that one, because that one is just really, really sound, comfortable, collected in motion. That one has a presence out here today. Really appreciate just the feature and bone size underneath that one. Super, super tall shouldered. Just she gets that one stopped and propped up, and it's just ultra impressive. I think that maybe he just is skin hide quality just maybe isn't as fresh as the couple of them afterwards, and I think that's probably what's throwing me off the most with that one, because there is actually a genuine amount of muscle shape up top there, but I think that that one is still just the highest quality one to be getting along with today. Congratulations to that young lady. Now, nothing to take away from the quality that we have here in second, because there's a lot of things that I really love about this weather here. I think there's probably actually more foot size and bone in this one than the one that wins the class today. I think that one also has a bit more grow, and from the outside looking in, that one is fresher in terms of his overall hide quality, and I really appreciate that about him. I think when you get in and actually study this guy from a dimension standpoint and a muscle standpoint, the two on either side of him just are stouter than he is out here today. That in combination with getting a little bit loose and even right behind his shoulder blade break in there, you'd like to see him stay a bit more collected. Particularly that becomes evident when you pull him out to lead, as he does kind of open up a little bit behind his shoulder there. But that is one that I think does some things really, really well. And then when you get in and compare him to the one in third, one that just presents as being a higher quality animal. So I'm still most comfortable leaving that one in second. Congratulations to that young lady. Now, I'll be square with you guys. The young lady's doe in third is the freshest touching of that trio, and I love that about her. I think that one is really, really expressive up top, really, really just draws you in with how much genuine muscle shape and mass is there, while still touching hard, fresh, and mellow. You really appreciate the genuine amount of muscle and just power that one packs on a really robust, round rib cage. Beyond that, though, I think that one just needs to be a little better in terms of presentation, presence, and ring quality from the side. That one is a little smaller in terms of his foot and bone. That one is a little bit plainer and deeper in terms of how that neck and that chest line in with the rest of her underline out here today. That in combination with being maybe just a little bit squattier, a little bit longer sided, just kind of throw off her proportion out here today. My eye doesn't drawn to her as much as the two that we have ahead, but really, really nice job at feeding on that one, young lady. Now, the young gentleman with the Roni looking weather here in fourth is one that I think on initial impression it doesn't blow you away, but I think one that, again, just like the one ahead, surprises you when you get in and you touch on that dude. I think he's fresh. I think he's shapely. I think he's got enough muscle. I think he's bold and round in terms of his rib cage. I think when you get in and get comparative with the three ahead of him, though, there's just not as much of that dude, right? Particularly when we study that guy in power from behind. I need him bolder in his pin set, more powerful in terms of the muscle shape that he feeds into that back third of a skeleton. Nice place to go into fourth up. Young gentleman rounding out the top five probably has the one that is more powerful and more impressive from behind than the one in fourth. I like that dude's pin set. I like that guy's got a lot of muscle shape back there. I like that dude's big in terms of his bone work and kind of stout and powerful from the side. For me, though, of that top five, this is the one that comes apart in the most pieces. A little bit disjointed in how his transition areas get together from that shoulder to this to his rib cage, and further back in how his loin hooks into the rest of his hip. is a little lower fronted than he is in terms of his hip. You'd like to just clear him out there, make him a bit more kind of put Humpty Dumpty back together again, in my opinion. Nice set of goats on the fence over here. Young people, if you guys are in this class and you got lined up on this side, I think you should be really proud, like I said earlier, of your projects, because there's a lot of good, a lot of muscle, a lot of completeness in them. I just wish that they match the quality that we had out here in our top 5. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They're doing a great job.
King Farms Trucking provides excellent service to their customers as well as their drivers with maximum pay. With home time and year-round consistency, join their team today.
Did you know Kent's Market has an app? And it's free! Just go to your app store and type in Kent's Market and it'll come right up. Downloading the Kent's Market app gives you access to digital coupons, weekly deals, and access to your Kent's Kickback account. As you can see, the app is easy to use and can help you save. Download it now and get exploring. We'll see you soon at Kent's.
If we can get those coming back for the middleweight division drive in the show barn, which would be Riley Topham, Quincy Rhodes, Leo Healy, Brett Anderson, Madison Breaker, and Brooklyn Rhodes.
All right, another nice set of middleweight goats out here today, and I think that maybe another class where we're not getting quite as much power in terms of foot and bone and skull size, so quite as much oomph from that perspective. But once we kind of call that a wash amongst the livestock that we got out here today, I think we're left with some that are nice in terms of their balance from the side. They've got enough muscle shape up top, and they're good and bold in terms of the rib cage while still being sound enough out in motion. I think for me, though, the kind of decision comes between the two young ladies out here in first and second, because I do think that the one we've got up here in front, the young lady does a really nice job at getting that doe presented out here today. I think that she props that one up and makes that one's shoulder look even taller than it is out here today. Really nice job at getting that one to look proportional from the side. There is a genuine huge amount of rack shape on that one. Maybe not the freshest in terms of skin and hide that we've got out here today. Maybe getting a little bit deep and plain in terms of the center portion of her belly there today, and consequently it's making her look a little plain in general from the side. But I think when you get in and just sort through that one's build in combination with the genuine muscle mass that we've got up there just kind of puts the most things together right for me today. So we line that one up in first. Congratulations to that young lady. Now, the young lady with the predominantly red doe here in second certainly has done an awesome job at keeping hide quality really, really fresh. I love that you've spent a lot of time working on that. That one really just kind of goes into and adds on to the fact that that one touches really fresh up top. I like the muscle mass and shape on that one. On initial impression, when these goats come in, that one just leads like a dream. My eye keeps getting drawn to that one because that one is so good in terms of just collectedness and skeletal structure and motion. I love that about that one. I think that she's kind of being a pill, that kind of tucking that little tail down, and she's kind of pulling out of your head catch a little bit more than really is necessary. There you go. That looks so much better. Kind of pull that top line into her a little bit better. But I think that she's good and proportionate from the side. I think when we get in and we actually just evaluate how she's constructed in that neck to shoulder to skeleton area, I think she's a little bit lower in how her neck attaches. I think she's a little bit plainer and more forward in her base of her in the base of her chest floor there. That in combination with maybe being a little bit soft, having a little bit more cover than the one that beats you today, just kind of rolls her into second for me today. Nice job to this young duo, though. Please give them a good amount of appreciation. Now the young gentleman with the kind of stocking-footed red doe here in third is one that I think is really similar to the one ahead of her. She's really good balance from the side, one that I think moves out really comfortably, flexibly, stays really collected in motion. I think when we get in and actually compare this one to the two ahead in terms of muscle mass, that's where she gets beat, right? She's just not as big and stout up top in her rack. She's just not as big in terms of her leg shape from behind. That in combination with maybe just being a little bit plain in her overall look compared to maybe some of the other goats in other classes we've seen today, stick her in third for me. But the young man's done a very nice job. Now, our duos in fourth and in fifth here, I think, are really similar in terms of the type of animal that you ladies have brought. I think that they're both really big, round, deep-ribbed ones that are really practical in terms of their design. Both of them look like they gain weight really effectively, easily, put it on good for you, two young ladies. I think both of them have a good amount of muscle mass up top. I think that when we get comparative between the goats ahead of them, these are just the ones that maybe aren't as cute, right? Just a little bit plainer and shorter in terms of how their shoulder sets in there, a little plainer and thicker and shorter about their neck, maybe just come in a couple more pieces than the ones that are in 1, 2, and 3 today. But the young ladies one in fourth here just has a little bit more foot and bone, a little bit more muscle mass to be getting on with. So we'll stick her in fourth, round out with the young lady with the black-headed wether in fifth. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They've done a very nice job.
Coming back from Class 8, first place Ashton Meyer, second Paley Thompson.
If you are in need of financial assistance, call Dusty Roach at Lincoln Financial. He and his friendly staff have the expertise you'll need.
Miller Medical is ready to care for clients with full services for family medical. They also offer beauty and spa health treatments with hot stone and IV vitamin therapies, as well as Botox. Let Miller Medical take care of all your healthcare needs.
If Class 9 wants to start lining up in the show barn, Casely Nyquist, Jace Burgess, Jackson Euler, Waylon Porritt, Haven Rhodes, Paisley Marble, Jackson Worthen, Brant Worthen, and Wyatt Hawks.
Awesome. Well, I think another great set of goats out here in your middleweight division. I think that, as I talk through each class, it's probably hopefully evident that there's maybe a couple of classes that I thought were just a little bit deeper and really, really good quality at the top end of those. So I think that for me, when I get those, all 8 of these back out here, I think that story stays similar in my mind from where we were at in class. Enjoy getting to compare the livestock out here today. I think that for me, that there are probably 4 of them that really line up in terms of quality out here today to kind of set themselves apart, and then 4 that maybe just have those good things, are really good in terms of their individual classes, just maybe not quite as unique in terms of their look from the side, and just don't quite put together as many hard to make things as the other 4 that we just discussed. So I think in my mind that there's a pair of them that kind of have those fundamentals that really, really just kind of get out there in terms of overall completeness. Maybe, goats giving all of our kids a hard time out here today, but I think all of them are doing a nice job at being patient. We'll go show you the ones that I like. We'll place them all the way down 1 through 8. Audience, if you would please give all of these young people a nice hand. They've done a nice job at bringing us good quality.
R&B Fencing Solutions has you covered for custom fencing, grazing, and livestock transportation. Give Rhett Munns a call today.
Rudd Funeral Home is a locally owned family-operated business. Joe Rudd and his family, as well as their devoted staff, are committed to providing you with the best service possible during a difficult time. Their beautiful facilities have all the necessary amenities. A large viewing room can also double as a smaller, more intimate funeral chapel. The chapel is even equipped with streaming capabilities to make sure family and friends are connected no matter how far they may be. Rudd Funeral Home is there to help you in your time of need.
If Class 10 will start lining up in the show barn, Claire Schaefer, London Bishop, Lacey John, Parker Thompson, Madison Littlefield, Piper Stokes, Ellis Staley, Zach Staley, Josh Jensen, and Hazen Stewart.
Awesome. As we get our first class of heavyweights lined up out center stage here, a little smaller numbers in this class, but I think that all of them have done a nice job at bringing us livestock that had a lot of muscle. They're sound enough in their construction and just represent good livestock. Good job to these young people with their projects. For me, in my mind, I think that there's one place to start, and that's the young lady out in front here. That is just easily the highest quality, whether a class really, really tall-shouldered. That thing on initial impression, as soon as that thing hits the gate, wide wide-chested, round-ribbed, super, super athletic in motion, kind of just draws you in. You want to spend all your time watching that one move. Now, I think if I was to change that one, I would love to see more genuine leg shape in that one's lower leg when you get him behind him, and I think that we can kind of combat that a little bit by just setting him a little bit closer together, because he does kind of naturally want to stick out, but I think that you'll make his muscle shape look a little bit stouter if you kind of keep those back feet just a tick closer together. But that is just a good profile and high quality, heavy muscle, good looking dude that needs to win this class. Now, the biggest backed weather is this one in second. There is a huge amount of muscle shape up top there. I love how fresh and velvety this one touches. I love how that one just spreads a lot of shape from straight out of the backside of his blade into the back into where his hooks and pins tie in together. I think that beyond that, though, this guy gets pretty cumbersome in his skeletal design. He just kind of shrinks away from you, and beyond that, he just kind of gets a little swayed back, a little bit too much set to his hock. Kind of kick his feet a little further forward than I'd like him to. Maybe you'd like to set him up underneath of himself a little better, because that'll help his top line stay a little bit neater if you can kind of keep him squished together a little bit. But I think that dude is big, practical, a lot of muscle, a lot of rib shape. I just wish he was better looking and constructed a little bit more collected from the side. Now I think that the red doe in third is probably more collected than the one that beats you out here today. I think that one's stronger topped, better in terms of her underline. Unfortunately, just doesn't pack as much muscle on that dude as the one that beats you out here today, and that's where we kind of split hairs on that, in my opinion. The young gentleman's weather out here in fourth is certainly the taller shouldered one of those two ahead, right in that second, third, and fourth. That is a taller shouldered, better outline one that I think stays the most level in terms of his top line out here today. I think for being a little bit bigger outline goat, he needs to also come with as much muscle mass as the other two ahead of him do. So that's why we leave him out here in fourth. Young lady rounding out the top five does a nice job at getting that one presented. I really appreciate her showmanship and the presentation level that she's got on this doe out here today. I just wish that beyond the muscle mass that she does have and the roundness of rib that she does exhibit, I wish she was a little bit better built from the side. She gets a little deeper and plainer in terms of her chest, a little bit higher from the behind, a little bit upright, and how that hip and hind leg sits into her. I like to make her a bit more comfortable and correct about her skeletal design to consider swapping some things around. The exhibitors on the fence over here have done a nice job at bringing us good enough, heavy enough muscled livestock. I just wish that they were a bit more complete in their overall design, and for being the bigger outline goats, I need a shot more power and muscle to them. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They're doing a great job.
Rigby Chiropractic, promoting health and wellness locally with a personal touch.
Roach Ranches supports the people that support them and the fantastic youth of the Valley. Thank you for over 60 years in business, quality seed stocking, gravel, and hunting. Rock and Roll Construction Products, providing U-Cart concrete and landscaping products.
If we can have Class 11 start lining up in the show barn: Sky Burrell, Hadley Burrell, Kate Schaefer, Skylee Montgomery, Huntington Bishop, Bradley Munns, Brindley Baldwin, Hayes Porritt, Kaylin Scott, Zoe Gibbs, Kimmy King, Jack Searle, and Mason Bingham.
I tell you what, as we move on into your heavyweight division, when the first two that come into the ring are these first and second weathers up front here, you know it's going to be a fun class to sort through, and I think that probably two of the highest quality ones that we've seen today so far sit at the top of this class. I think that both of them are just really, really good in terms of their lines. They represent a type of livestock that is being really, really successful in a lot of places across the country these days. Really tall-shouldered, good profiling livestock that I think are really proportionate. Obviously, the young lady out in front here has the bigger outline wether, and the more compact, kind of shorter coupled one is here in second. And I think that depending on your own personal preference, you could swap the two around, because I think they're awfully comparable in terms of just the fundamentals of livestock, and beyond that, just big in terms of their feature. Both of them are wide-chested. Both of them are stout-pinned. Both of them just bring the amount of muscle shape and rib shape that you're really hunting for. And then beyond that, the amount of quality that you look for when you're evaluating in the show ring, regardless of species. I think when it comes down to it, the one that for me just packs a little bit more punch, just has a touch more presence out here today is the young ladies, whether out here in front. I think that one's just awfully, awfully nice. Now, I do think that the advantage that the one in second has in terms of being shorter coupled is that one consistently stays just a bit more proportional in terms of all the views that you get of that one. I don't think that one's quite as, animal-like in terms of his presence out here today as the one that wins the class. So I think really, really good pair. They'll be fun to see in a minute out here in the drive. Very, very nice job to both these young ladies. Now, in 3 and 4 out here today, your guys' misfortune is you're in their class, right? But because I think both of you guys have brought us just good quality stock to evaluate. I think both y'all have some good quality wethers that are both tall-shouldered. Both of them have a lot of foot and bone up underneath of them. I think both of them have a lot of genuine muscle shape and presence and just handle quality. I think when it comes down to it, I prefer the young lady's taller outline, taller shouldered wether to roll into third, because that dude just has a bit more presence and captures your attention just a bit better. I think that one, in addition, is one that just stays a bit more collected in motion. He's giving you fits at the moment, but I think you're doing a nice job with him. If we're to alter him, I think that he does get a little bit more shallow back to his rear rib and hind gut than I think is necessarily appropriate for as big and as long and as stretchy as he is, because I think it does throw off his proportion ever so slightly from the side, but really nice place to roll into third. The young gentleman's whether here in third and fourth is one that I think is just really definitely has the advantage in terms of hind gut proportionality compared to the one in third, but this one just gets more set to her hock. She gets a little shorter and deeper and plainer in how her neck and her chest tie in together. Those two things make her look a little bit more routine in her design than the three ahead of you, so we'll leave you in fourth. The young lady rounding out the top 5 with her big old doe has got a lot of muscle shape in that one. I think there's a lot of big old back shape. There's a lot of leg shape in that one. I think when we get in and we get comparative to the goats ahead of you, though, it just not quite as much genuine foot bone feature and presence out here today. Those in combination with being a little bit softer made doe at this point, she just looks a little plainer than the lineup ahead of you. The crew that we have on the fence over here has done a nice job at bringing us heavy enough muscle, big enough outline goats. And it's not because that these 5 along the rail don't have enough muscle. It's that when we get comparative to the 5 that we had out front here, that they need to have more. Please give all these young people a nice hand. They're doing a great job.
Rupp Trucking Excavating is a family-owned and operated construction business specializing in site prep and site utilities. Brothers Blaine and Brent Rupp have spent the last 45 years priding themselves on a project well done. What began small has turned into a company of over 70 employees and includes work such as demolition, sewer and water installation, earthwork, septic systems, and waste containers. Rupp's operates several gravel pits and offers both delivery and pickup. Contact Rupp's for your construction needs.
Schaefer Farms. We grow family, friends, and high-quality crops. Swing by the fielding location and pick up some delicious homegrown food today.
Kate Schaefer, Skylee Montgomery, Huntington Bishop, Bradley Munns, Brindley Baldwin, Hayes Porritt, Kaylin Scott, Zoe Gibbs, Kimmy King, Jack Searle, and Mason Bingham. Just as a reminder, after you have participated in the goat market show, they are still doing the carcass contest in the old auction barn. If we can get those coming back for the heavyweight division drive to come line up in the show barn, Jay Spurgis, Haven Rhodes, Claire Schaefer, and Piper Stokes.
All right, as we move on through your heavyweight market goats, I think that once you kind of put aside the fact that I think maybe all of the goats in our lineup in our class out here today probably need to touch a bit more fresh and a bit more youthful, and then be a bit more youthful in terms of their overall appearance and hide quality out here today. If we call that a wash amongst the bunch, the two highest quality ones are up top here with these two young women. I think that they're both the tall-shouldered, long outline ones that just represent good quality livestock. Both of them command your attention as they enter the ring today, and I think that both of them are just good quality ones that I think in the big scheme of things probably just are, you know, if we call 12 o'clock being the perfect amount of done, these ones maybe veer in to a little past 12, and I think that's as a whole, that's where I kind of land with them. Young ladies, weather out front here is just the biggest, the burliest, the densest made. Really does a nice job at getting that one propped up and pieced together. That one on initial impression just commanded my attention from the second he walked into the ring. He continues to do that as she gets him stuck out here today. Congratulations on a really high quality one to lead off our last class. Young lady here in second, certainly not lacking in terms of quality when we compare that one to our one that lines up top. I think that one is probably actually a bit stouter in terms of upper hip shape than the one that wins out here for me today. When I get in and actually touch on those, there's just not as much muscle mass up top as the one that wins out here. So I think we'll leave that one in second, but a really competitive second. Please give both those young women a nice hand because they've done a nice job. For 3 and 4, I think that you can kind of swap some things around depending on your own personal preference. I think when it comes down to it, both of these need to come a little bit more collected in their overall composition. Both of them get a little bit too long and stretchy, a little too weak top, and consequently get a little bit off in terms of their proportionality from the side for me today. But I think when you get in and you talk about their muscle shape as being pretty comparable, the only thing that you're left with is just having the one that is genuinely bolder and rounder in terms of her rib cage shape, genuinely has more up underneath of her and more dimension, and that'd be the one here in third. I love just how open and bold that one is and just represents maybe a little bit easier feeding, not quite as hollow type of livestock, so I opt to go with that one in third. Young ladies, weather here in fourth, she does a spectacular job at getting that dude propped up, incredibly good at making you command attention to that one. I think when she gets out of the front end of that one, his forward and plain chest just kind of become more evident. That in combination with not having as much genuine lower rib shape really kind of throw off his balance for me more than the other ones we've discussed so far. Young gentleman rounding out the top 5 has got one that I think is really big backed, practical in his rib design, one that I think looks like he was easy feeding. I just wish that dude was more shapely, more fresh, and had a shot more foot and bone up underneath of him to go with the mass that he has up high. The young people on the fence over here have done a nice job at picking out big rib, sound enough made, heavy enough muscled livestock. I think that we're getting to the end where all these guys just need to be peeled back from a fat standpoint. They just kind of got a little overcooked, in my opinion. They're like pushing them up. Really nice job to all the young people. Please give them all a nice hand.
Coming back from class 11, Kate Schaefer, first place. Second, Brinley Baldwin.
State Line Electric serving Utah and Idaho. Give them a call today.
We good? Howdy. All of us here at Stokes Trucking want to wish good luck to all the youth at the Box Elder County Fair Junior Livestock Show and Sale. Remember to thank your mom and dad when it's all over, and remember to thank your 4-H leaders and your FFA leaders as well. Speaking of thanks, let's all take just a second here and thank a truck driver, or be thankful for them. These good, honest, hard-working people literally bring us everything. Think about that. Thank you and enjoy the fair.
All right, as we wrap up with your heavyweight division drive, I think that really, really good quality set of 6 goats out here to sort. All these young people have done an excellent job at getting them presented to this point out here today, initially selecting just good quality livestock that have a place out here in the top end of their show ring. So my congratulations to them. It's probably no secret which ones I tie into out here today, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun here in just a second getting them lined up with the other or weight divisions out here. Audience, if you would, please give them a good hand, and I'll show you how I like them in order of 1 to 6.
If we can get those coming back for the Grand Champion Drive, Cash Baldwin and Eli Thompson, Riley Topham, and Quincy Rhodes.
Hey, real quick before the Grand Drive, we've had a bit of a tragedy strike our community today. Word travels fast, but our fair director, Jan Rhodes' home is currently burning to the ground. I think it's a total loss. And so as a community, livestock community, Jan does so much for us every day with 4-H, with FFA, helping set all of this up. And we're gonna have a little donation jar down here at the table. So if you guys feel the need or have some extra cash, we're just gonna kind of try to collect what we can while she tries to deal with this. And especially during this week now, she's having to deal with something even more heartbreaking. So yeah, we'll just have a little jar down here if you guys feel the need, so.
Hold. Eli Thompson, we need you in the show barn for the Grand Champion Drive. Eli Thompson, we need you in the show barn. While we're waiting, we have Ashley Wright Photography in the show ring with us for the Grand Champion Drive. She's donating her photography for the Parade of Champion. We want to thank her for that donation. Eli Thompson, we need you in the show barn for the Grand Champion Drive. Eli Thompson. If anybody knows where he is. Eli Thompson, we're waiting for you in the show barn for the Grand Champion Drive. All right, Grand Champion Drive. From our lightweight division, Cash Baldwin. From our middleweight division, Riley Topham and Quincy Rhodes. And from our heavyweight division, Piper Stokes and Claire Schaefer. Once again, this is the Grand Champion Drive.
Well, as we get your champion market goat lineup out here today, I think that each one of these kids just have brought us good quality. I love the set of 5 that we've got, and our Missing Doe kid from the lightweight division just kind of fits in good with the rest of this crew out here, I think. I've been thoroughly impressed by the amount of numbers and the quality in the show today, and it sounds like from conversations with your fair administrators that I'm just going to continue to be blown away by the amount of numbers in the show, and I think that's ultra impressive and certainly a testament to the families and the support system that they've got out here that the kids in this area have, because I can tell you I do quite a few of these across the country from year to year, and it is not this way at a lot of places in the country. In fact, they're kind of hurting for numbers at a lot of places, so do what you can, adults in the crowd here, to continue to support these kids, because in my mind that there's nothing better that these kids could be occupying their time with than spending a lot of time and effort, and just the amount of effort that it takes to get to this level out here with their livestock projects today. So thank y'all for having me. It's been a pleasure to sort your market goat show. I'll go show you the ones that I like. Audience, please give them all a huge hand.
Congratulations to our Grand Champion Market Goat, Piper Stokes. And congratulations to our overall reserve champion, Claire Schaefer. All right, congratulations to our grand champion overall, Piper Stokes. Reserve champion, Claire Schaefer. Third place goes to Riley Topham. Fourth, Cash Baldwin. Fifth, Quincy Rhodes. And sixth, Eli Thompson. Thank you so much for all those participating in the hard work. Congratulations.
Schooler. Let's get growing. Your partner for grain and feed, merchandising, marketing, storage, and logistics.
We deeply appreciate your participation in this week's county fair and rodeo. Your presence adds to the vibrancy of our community. Thank you for visiting Tree Mountain and being a part of our journey.
On behalf of Utah Seed, congratulations to all who participated in the Box Elder County Fair Junior Livestock Auction. Well done! We also want to thank the families, 4-H clubs, farmers, and ranchers who supported these participants in preparing this year's entries. All of us, farmers, ranchers, and Utah Seed are involved in Feeding America. Whether you need alfalfa, seed, dryland pasture, cover crops, or 3-way grain mixes, we are here to help with the right products and right information for your needs.
For 20 years, Valley View Granite has offered our local community the best quality and service for their home countertops. With the addition of Marble Ventures in Ogden, Utah, our team is now able to offer the same reliable and dependable service for their showers, tub surrounds, and more. With locations from Sandy to Idaho Falls, we offer the best value without sacrificing quality for your build or remodel. Come in and see us today. Valley View Granite, enhancing places people gather.